Part 1. How often do you see your neighbors?
I see them pretty much every day. Every time I want to go out, I see them in the elevator, for example, and we exchange a few words. That's it.
Do you invite your neighbors to your home?
No, we don't do that. Unfortunately, we don't do that because we are not friends with one another. We just talk about like the very necessary things about the apartment, about the rules of the apartment, about the apartment meetings, and stuff like that. We don't invite them to our house.
Do you think you are a good neighbor?
Yes, absolutely. I think we are very good neighbors for our neighbors because we don't make any noise, we don't party until really late at night. We respect all the rules in the apartment. I think we are really good neighbors.
Has a neighbor ever helped you?
Not that I can remember. I don't think that a neighbor has ever helped us because we have never asked them to help us. Unfortunately, there has never been an emergency to ask for help.
Part 2. Describe a very difficult task that you succeeded in doing as part of your work or studies. You should say what task you did, why this task was very difficult, how you worked on this task, and explain how you felt when you had successfully completed this task.
Okay. All right. I would like to talk about the teaching qualification that I got in 2016. This is called Delta. It's a diploma in teaching English to speakers of other languages and to adults. It's a really difficult course to pass for English teachers if you want to have international qualifications. And there are 3 modules to that: Module 1, Module 2, and Module 3. Module 1 basically is an exam, is a theoretical exam. Module 2 is the most difficult one, the hardest one, which is the practical stage of that. And Module 3 is an extended assignment. I would like to specifically talk about Module 2 that I did in 2016. Initially, we had to do a lot of needs analysis. There was a diverse group of learners, group of students, adult learners at that time that I had to interview, that I had to talk to in order for me to understand their level of English. And I have to say that it was a mixed ability class. Like there were different students, unfortunately, with different levels. One of them was, for example, a late A1 learner, and the other one was an early B1 learner, which made it a little difficult for me to manage that class. The next stage was to make materials, to provide materials, teaching and learning materials for those people. And the material should have been both inclusive and exclusive at the same time. It should have been inclusive so that everyone in that group would learn something from that lesson, from that slot. And it had to be exclusive because it had to exclude other areas of language. For example, I had to focus specifically on a special, for example, language system, and it had to exclude other areas of language. And it was really difficult and demanding. And after that, I had to teach that class, and I had to gain evidence of learning from that class. And there was always someone present in the class monitoring you. There was always a tutor present that made me a little stressed at the time. But I passed that module 2. I did that successfully, even though it was really difficult and demanding. I remember some of my classmates at that time could not pass that and failed that. And I think it's a great achievement for me. And I'm using that qualification to find a job, to find a teaching job abroad these days. It's interesting. And I'm really proud of myself to have done that. And I use the knowledge that I gained in that course in my classes with my students.
Part 3. What are the most difficult jobs that people do?
I think all jobs are sometimes difficult. We cannot say that this job is easy and this job is very difficult. I think some jobs are to some extent demanding sometimes. But in my opinion, some jobs, some hard, difficult physical jobs like working in a mine, like being a driver, like a taxi driver or a truck driver, I think these kind of jobs are physically demanding and they require a lot of stamina. I think these are some of the difficult jobs that people do.
Why do you think some people choose to do difficult jobs?
People do that, in my opinion, sometimes because of a higher pay, because in my opinion, the more difficult the job, the higher the pay. Sometimes they want to beat some personal best. They want to prove something to themselves. They want to show everybody else and show themselves that they are capable of doing something, that they can do something and they can achieve something. So they try to take up something that is difficult to prove themselves to themselves, not just for the money. I think these are the reasons.
Do you agree or disagree that all jobs are difficult sometimes?
Yes, definitely. Like I said earlier, in my opinion, all jobs can get difficult and really demanding from time to time. For example, a teacher has to deal with a lot of students, has to deal with lots of students and lots of different opinions. That's difficult in one way. A truck driver has to drive for several hours on a lonely road. That's difficult in a different way. A pilot has to risk and jeopardize their life when they are flying every time. I think every job is difficult to some extent.
How important is it for everyone to have a goal in their personal life?
I think it's absolutely essential for everyone to have a goal in their personal life. I think without a goal and without a purpose in life, life would be meaningless. Why do you want to wake up in the morning? Why do you want to go to work? Why do you want to make money? Why do you want to buy a house, save money to buy a house if you don't have a goal in life? I think life would be essentially meaningless for people like that, for people who don't have a purpose, who don't have a goal in life. I think everybody needs different purposes and different goals in different stages of their life. The younger they are, for example, they need to achieve some academic goals, and then when they are middle-aged, for example, they have to work hard and they have to make money and they have to make their life and their future. And when they get older, they have different sets of goals. I think it's absolutely essential for everybody to have a goal.
Is it always necessary to work hard in order to achieve career success?
I think yes. It's absolutely essential to work hard. Not only should you work hard, you should also work smart in the world today. You know, the world today is the world of the media and the world of the communication, the internet. If you work hard, working hard alone, I think, in my opinion, is not enough. If you don't have this window to the world, for example, this page on YouTube, this channel on YouTube, this page on Instagram, this channel on TikTok, for example, that you do not showcase your talent to the world, you won't get a lot of followers, you won't get a lot of subscribers, you won't get a lot of customers for that matter. And I think you won't be able to showcase your talent to the world, and you won't be able to make a lot of progress at work and to make more money at work. So in my opinion, it's absolutely essential to work hard and to work smart at the same time, and to have some basic knowledge of technology, like video editing, and like having a great sound quality, great picture quality, in order to showcase your talent to the world.
Do you think that successful people are always happy people?
Successful people, in my opinion, are happier than the rest of the society. What does that mean to be successful? You call someone a successful person when he or she has achieved some personal best, when they have achieved some certain goals in their life. So you brand them as a successful person. You call them a successful person. I think that success would bring a lot of joy for them and would differentiate them from the other members of their community, for example, of the other members of their class, of their family, for instance. I believe successful people are happier than other people around them, but not necessarily always happy, because I think nobody is always happy. That's life. That's the nature of life. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're depressed, sometimes you're excited, sometimes you're elated, and sometimes you're really down. I think that's what makes a human being. we experience a roller coaster of emotions on a daily basis sometimes. But in my opinion, successful people, yes, they are happier than the rest of the people. Thank you.